Just to name a couple of the teams they played against.
Michael Wilson will tip it off from Memphis. He had 18 points in the first meeting. We mentioned no automatic bid, and really Cincinnati, with the schedule they've played, they're likely in already.
I would think so. I mean, they've played one of the tougher schedules in all of college basketball. They've seen North Carolina, Maryland, Temple. Just to name a couple of the teams they played against.
Michael Wilson will tip it off for Memphis. You want to watch a guy rise.
Yeah, he's got yeast and blubber in his shoes.
The lob right away. Wilson goes up and grabs it back out to Garner, who thinks about a three. Mingo Johnson loses the handle. Burton almost had to steal. Try to force it inside, and that is broken up nicely by Jacob. LeGree underneath the Fortson, misses the chippy, and Wright clears the glass.
No reason to hesitate there. Wide open. If he takes it right to the rack, he scores.
Henderson around a little screen along with the shot. The tip back up and in. Won't go. Off the back iron. Burton to the baseline. Dumps it off to Fortson. Got a little push away from the basketball. 3-second actually. Parked in the lane.
Cincinnati as a team has really struggled shooting the basketball. One of the keys for them tonight, I think, is to make some shots early to get the confidence up.
And nearly a turnover. Garner comes to it, pulls up. Both teams a little cold to start things. With LeGree now.
A little.
He's trying to be kind. Burton, though, buries it free, and he needs that.
No question about it, John. When you've been in a slump and you've struggled, there's no better tonic than knocking down that first look.
And Cincinnati goes to the pressure.
I talked about making shots being a key for Cincinnati early. Ball handling and not committing turnovers early will be a key for Memphis.
And that's not a good sign right there. Just get the turnover on the traveling violation.
Bob Huggins had been starting the last few games. Durden and Damon Flint in the backcourt has elected to go back to LeGree and Durden and bring Flint off the bench. Damon really not a true point guard. Had played that position a lot last year and really is probably much better at the swing position.
Never played point guard until last year in the fourth into that action. Shot clock is now down to 5. Dumped off. Fortson still hasn't shot it. Gets fouled as he releases it.
Penetration by LeGree here in a nice lead for Fortson. I thought he had a chance to shoot the little 12-footer. Elected to squeeze it in tighter and drew the foul. Well, you and I were just talking about the number of outstanding freshmen in the nation, and we've got two of the very best here tonight, and Danny Fortson and also Lorenzen Wright.
Really is one of the better freshman classes remember in a number of years.
I mean, you think about Felipe Lopez, Allen Iverson, the two fellows out at UCLA, Ncaa. We're talking about Toby Bailey and J.R. Henderson, Jelani Gardner, Tremaine Folk. There's a kid here in Ohio at Xavier, Tavares Johnson, Samaki Walker. I mean, it's really been an outstanding year for first-year play.
Race with Brent and it has been amazing. 4-0. The Bearcats have the early lead. Memphis has taken 3 shots and not made any of them. Turned it over a couple of times. Shot clock under 10. Mingo Johnson up in the air, loses it. Stuffed back up and in nicely by Michael Wilson.
He can really hang and glide. One of the things Memphis will have to do tonight, they don't have the presence of David Vaughn, who gives them an excellent twin tower combination with Wright. So they'll have to be ready to take mid-range jumpers and shoot it from the perimeter a little more tonight.
Fortson misses, but I think Jacobs got a hand on it. We got a foul. No, turnover. Bumped off Garner and out of bounds.
Chris Garner, with his quickness, should do everything he can to keep it in the middle of the floor. I mean, he takes away his advantage by going up the sideline against the pressure.
Watch Legree and Garner going at it. The 2 point guards are bumping like a couple of power guys. Jacobs along with the shot. Henderson clears the glass. Henderson hangs and won't go in as Memphis stays cold. Burton shows his quickness. Blocked. Get it out of here. Wilson. Garner cut off. And again the turnover. The 4th turnover for the Tigers. Burton dumps it down. Fortson to the baseline, and a nice move off the glass.
That's an excellent move. Very efficient, a couple of dribbles, and then strong to the baseline.
Johnson launches a 3 and buries it.
Yeah, he can stroke it. And since he's gone to the starting lineup, I really think it's helped Chris Garner, because Mingo can play the 2-guard spot as well as handle the ball and take some of that pressure off Chris Garner during the 40 minutes of a ball game.
Fortson trying to come to the ball. Finally, Jacobs comes up with it. Shot clock now down to 6. Legree, shaking, bacon, loses the handle. Garner comes up with it at the other end and gets shoved by Legree. He commits the foul.
Good position here with the feet, then the quick hands. There's Garner. Nice little pilfer there. And then Legree going to come up and make him earn him at the line, and not a bad foul. This is called fouling for fruit, John. When you foul a guy with the idea of him not being a good free throw shooter, you actually can save your team some points. Garner only 47% from the stripe. I jinxed him the other way that time.
That's right. He doesn't mind that. Well, that one won't go. So right about at his average, 1 of 2. Burton showing great quickness. Launches that one. Bostick with the rebound. Tries to go up. Is stripped by Garner. Garner with a couple of quick strips right there. It's a 2-point lead for the Bearcats. Back to the shoe in a moment.
You ready?
Yep.
What's this? We're playing on clay.
Right back.
It's mixed doubles.
Oh.
Outdoor court.
Is activewear becoming too specialized for you? Try Discus Athletic. Heavyweight sweats and tees. Just change your clothes once. To Discus Athletic, the way America plays.
If you and your wife are off to beautiful Kauai, Visa Gold's purchase power can pay for every romantic moment.
Hi, honey. Finally came down.
Not to mention a new pair of glasses.
I wanted to tell you how much I'm enjoying this second honeymoon. And that I love you.
Thank you. Because Jenkins Optical can make new glasses in an hour, but they won't take American Express.
Who's that?
Visa Gold.
I've never seen him before in my life.
Every species has its own method of transporting its young. Some means of getting offspring from one place to another. Safely, comfortably, and reliably. And human beings are no exception. The Land Rover Discovery, far superior to carrying your children in your mouth.
In Bloomington, Alan Henderson is carrying the Hoosiers. He works inside here, 2 of his 33 points, but the Illini are not going away. The lead is 4, $1:55 to play. John and Clark.
Welcome back once again. 14:33 left here in the first half. The Cobra on hand. Little basketball.
Dave Parker.
Former Red, former A, former Blue Jay is my favorite team.
Here you take a look at Danny Fortson. Pretty good move here along the baseline. Boy, he's had an outstanding freshman year. Has been the most consistent Bearcat this season. I mean, he's averaging 19 points a game and 9 boards in the conference. Those are major league numbers.
Everyone after the loose ball. That might be goaltending. It is. Tell you, when you can jump that high, you're going to get a few.
That is what you call hopping to the orange. 51.5. They say that may be a bit exaggerated, but the other question, the question I asked was, how high can you throw an alley-oop to him? And he said, however high it is, he can go get it. So there's no ceiling to what he can go get in terms of chasing down balls.
That's Cedric Henderson with a 3. And it gets Memphis back to within 1.
little full court pressure here, actually 3/4 court pressure.
3 down the lane. Another tip shot. Bobby Brannon, another one of those outstanding local products that Bob Huggins seems to get here. Wright alone at the other end. Oh, that was a clean block. Wilson puts it up and it won't go. Oh, my goodness.
What a play. Was that Bostick that got back into the picture?
And swatted it. Johnson. And when you're talking about stuffing a guy who's about 7 feet. The air ball by Henderson. Nearly a turnover. Brannon leans in. Blocked again. Bostick, a couple of pump fakes, throws it up, won't go. Long, can't tip it. Mingo Johnson. Oh, that's a carry.
Boy, tried to get going with it before he had it. You know, Memphis averages 7 block shots a game, and most of those are by David Vaughn and Lorenzen Wright. But I tell you what, Michael Wilson has the Bearcats thinking about things when they're in the paint tonight.
Well, Wilson once blocked 15 shots in a game in high school. 15.
And you would think after a while the guys would start shooting mid-range jumpers. I mean, just back it out a few steps.
As high as he can jump, he might block those too.
He can really bounce. Little zone action here. Not a bad move by Memphis. Cincinnati has struggled with the perimeter shot. The only thing you worry about, though, Cincinnati is a strong rebounding club. So when you go to the zone, you have a tendency to open up offensive rebounding lanes.
Garner nearly had to steal that time. And we're getting a substitution as Regroup will go to the bench. And Damon Flint. Now Burton comes in, rather. I saw the 3.
And he can shoot the 3. So Memphis will have to tag him.
Durden launches a 3 and gets it. With time running down on the shot clock. Wimmer to the baseline, pulls up. He's coming off the curve. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Wilson.
Oh. Tell me I didn't see that, John. Tell me I didn't see him just bounce like 6 feet above the goal.
I don't think the 51.5-inch vertical is exaggerated after seeing that. Oh, man.
Oh, man. Check this out, folks. Go get it, Michael. That's fun to watch.
Garner just gets it across and loses the handle. At the other end, Long will go in. Wimmer fouls him.
Good play by Wimmer here. Actually got a little hand in the back, but clearly making a play on the ball. But the rule is, if the official deems it unnecessary contact, it can be called flagrant. In that case, Ted Hillary thought it was just a hard foul. And not a bad play either way, because both of these teams really struggle shooting the ball from the free throw line.
Long is about 53% on the season.
He's been pretty solid in conference play. At about 14 points and 10 boards per game.
That free throw wasn't even close. But knocks down the second. So we'll take a break here with the Bearcats leading by 3 in Cincinnati.
Another hotel room.
Let's trash it! Wait. This don't look like an hotel room. It looks like me home.
I can see the old man now sitting with this pipe in front of the fire.
Well, look at this beautiful kitchen. You know, I can almost smell me going steak and kidney pie.
We could always say we trashed it.
Residence Inn by Marriott. The next best thing to home.
I like to, build something, stand there, look at it, admire it, and I get a satisfaction out of that.
Sears National Hardware Sale, designed for those who really care about their project.
You take a good tool, nice sharp edge, it's a pleasure.
Like this Craftsman 3/8-inch professional drill, just $49.99 with keyless chuck.
It gives me a sense of accomplishment. I want it to look beautiful.
The National Hardware Sale at Sears brings America's best to you.
And for your yard, save $50 on this power-propelled 5.5 horsepower Craftsman mower.
Welcome back. Cincinnati leading Memphis by 3. John Saunders and Clark Kellogg. I want to remind you that following SportsCenter tonight, Arizona ranked number 12 in the nation, looks for their 20th win of the season. They'll finish, they hope, in second place. No shot for first place in the Pac-10 because UCLA has wrapped that up. They swept Arizona and Arizona State, so even if they get tied, they'll get the tiebreaker.
Damon Stoudemire coming off of that triple-double.
Cincinnati emptying the bench. They've used every player they have, as Damon Flint is now into the game. So they know that with Memphis actually a little light on the bench, they're going to try and use everybody up. Try and lob it inside. Wilson up over everyone, a little short with it. Wright tries to stick it back up and got a little push in the back. So with 11:33 left, the Bearcats leading 14-11. For an update on a big game in the Big Ten, let's go back to Chris Fowler.
That's right, John. Illinois will inbound the ball down by 3 inside of 30 seconds. Let's take you back to Bloomington.
Defense will get a quick shot, and then you got to turn around and foul because Illinois has no more timeouts.
Garris and Herman, the Chicago Public League. Keene for 3. Got it. Richard Keene has tied the basketball game at 85. Knight will not use a timeout in this situation. So Herman will work for the win. Do not foul. Miller got it with 3.8 left. What a great pass to Charlie Miller. And Charlie Miller was fouled by Kevin Turner.
There's an example of a well-coached team. Doesn't need a timeout. They know what they need to do. Get the ball inside, and great feed. And a great slash by Miller.
Timeout called by the Fighting Illini. What a great look to Charlie Miller.
Freshman Charlie Miller on the line with Indiana up 2. We'll keep you posted. Back to John and Clark.
All right, Chris, thanks a lot. Keep an eye on that game, and when it's over, let us know what happened. Meanwhile, here, the Bearcats have opened up a 6-point lead as Darnell Burton just knocked down a 3-pointer. Burton with the ball now, moves it around. Down to Long on the baseline. He jams it down after freeing himself from Wimmer.
Wimmer looking to draw the charge there. I've never been a big fan of hitting the deck trying to draw a charge, because if it's not called, there's Lorenzen Wright with the emphatic flush. But if you lay down trying to draw a charge and it's not called, the offensive player has an easy look at the goal.
Garner traveled with it as he tried to make the move. You're right, especially right underneath the hoop like that there.
But Wimmer giving up an awful lot of size to Long on that particular matchup.
Maybe he didn't have a choice. Maybe he really was.
Right, exactly.
Burton will get it across. Fortson with a little jumper. Rattles it home. And the lead is now 8. Tipped away nicely by Long. Flint finds Long, tries for the flush and lost the handle. And then Wimmer, trying to hold his ground this time, commits the foul.
Right now, the full court pressure bothering Memphis a little bit. They're loose and sloppy with the ball, and as a result, Cincinnati able to get out and run. Long overshoots that dunk, and then Burton on the follow, fouled by Wimmer. But anytime you can create fast break opportunities off your defense, even if you don't get that initial shot to go, typically you've got numbers on the offensive glass.
Saw Garner go to the bench. Leon Mitchell will come in and give him a break.
Larry Finch talking to Michael Wilson, who's gotten some good looks inside, hasn't been able to finish. He's gotten 3 or 4 good looks. And sometimes when you can leap as high as he does, you're up in the air, and it sometimes gets you off balance a little bit.
Hey, he's shooting down at the basket most of the time. And another turnover for us. All right, we'll get back to Cincinnati in just a moment with a 10-point Bearcat lead right now. Let's take it back to the studio with Chris Fowler.
That's right, John. Charlie Miller, the freshman on the free throw line, trying to complete their 3-point play. Hoosiers up 2. Back to Bloomington.
Timeout. And so Miller at the line to try to push it to a 3-point lead for the homestanding Indiana Hoosiers. 3.8 seconds remaining.
Miller with 1 free throw.
He got it. Timeout called by the Hoosiers.
So the freshman converts under pressure. We'll keep you posted inside of 4 seconds to go, but back to Cincinnati.
All right, Chris, thanks a lot. 4 seconds. They'll need a 3-pointer. Perhaps we'll see extra time there, and Chris will keep us updated. Right now, we've got 9:18 to go in the first half. Cincinnati leading by 10. John Saunders along with Clark Kellogg.
There you see the story of the game right there. 11 points off of 10 turnovers. The points for Cincinnati, the turnovers for Memphis. And they've got to break out the stickum or the Velcro or whatever they need to hold on to the orange, because this one's slipping away from them.
Wilson up in the air and knocks that one in.
Well, maybe that little bench side chat. Uh-oh.
I don't know what Cincinnati was thinking there. Talk about miscommunication.
That is a failure to communicate, folks.
Cool hand Luke, are we here? Yeah, sure. Burton with a slicing move to the goal. The double click, and Cincinnati will have the ball right now. Let's take you back to Chris Fowler once again. Chris.
Yeah, the line, I hit another 3 to tie it. Richard Keene did it last time. We'll take you back into Bloomington. 3.8 to play.
Bennett and Clark are not three-point shooters. Garris. Keene's pass was out of bounds.
Again, that is so important. People don't think enough about the pass. The pass is a very difficult thing to do because you've got to throw it in between people.
They're going to move the basketball all the way back to underneath the Indiana basket, and that's where the Hoosiers will inbounds.
Well, Illinois got a foul, and they got a foul quickly. Can't let any time come off that clock with only 3.4 seconds. I think that's what they're sort of talking about.
Well, they're saying the ball never really went inbounds.
Right.
And that is why the basketball is being taken out underneath the basket there, so thus you should have no time coming off. And if they want to put 38 seconds back on the clock, I think everybody in the state of Illinois says that's okay. But they changed it to 3.8. Oh, first try. The timekeeper gets it to stop at 3.8. Notary checks in now.
Substitution for Illinois.
Well, Notary right now is trying to guard Patterson. You're going to look for the lob inside. Got to be very careful.
Foul right away and pray for a miss. Herman at the line. If he makes one, the ball game's over.
You know, when you look at this game tonight, it's not like either team really lost the game. I mean, Indiana just played a little bit better than Illinois. Illinois did all the things they need to do to win on the road. We talked about shooting the ball well, hitting from three-point land, offensively doing all those things. They've done it. It's just that defensively, they just couldn't stop Indiana.
4-point lead for the Hoosiers. Hester. Well, this is as good as it gets.
And 9-9-6 in the Big Ten, assuring themselves of a 500 record in the Big Ten. Memphis and Cincinnati are in a break. We'll get you right back out there after this.
Time Warner Cable of the Mid-South currently has job opportunities for direct sales representatives and telemarketing sales professionals. We will be recruiting for these jobs at our job fair Saturday 9 a.m. to 12 noon. We provide comprehensive benefits including medical, dental, and vision insurance, paid holidays and vacation, life insurance and pension, and an employee savings plan. We are a smoke-free environment. Come to our job fair on Saturday 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Time Warner Cable is an equal opportunity employer.
Business Equipment Center and Sharp Copiers, the winning combination. Your reputation is on the line when you choose copiers, so you've got to have quality products like award-winning Sharp Copiers and Sharp Duplicators. But you also need local service support. So take advantage of Business Equipment Center's documented commitment to service. For peace of mind, more value. Business Equipment Center and Sharp Copiers, the winning combination.
Passion and practice is put to the test. That moment of truth when spirit and drive define in a split second whether or not the dream will become reality. Championship Week on ESPN. 9 days, 22 conference championship games, including the ACC, Great Midwest, Big 8, and Atlantic 10. Championship Week on ESPN. Every game counts.
Welcome back. Clark, there's a guy, if you know anything about basketball, I mean, you talk about averaging double-doubles for his career.
Oh, man. He was outstanding. He's the only guy that I can recall that averaged 30 in high school, 30 in college, and then stepped right into the pros and did the same thing. 30. One of the first truly all-around big guards. I mean, he could board, he could handle, he could get his own shot. Truly one of the all-time great.
And a fixture here, too. Still lives in town and loves to come to as many games as he can. While we were away, as we were watching the game in the Big Ten, Bostick hit a three, his third three of the year. And then Fortson with a three-point play, he was fouled after a reverse. And Memphis is struggling. Wilson up, and now he's found the touch a little.
Yeah, he certainly has. He's got a nice looking stroke. Again, you wonder about a guy who elevates that high on his shot, but when he gets himself on balance and doesn't float or lean, he's a pretty reliable 12 to 15-foot shooter.
Bostick launches another three. I told you he made just his third of the year.
Felt good to him.
At the other end, Lorenzen Wright might have stepped out of bounds. They didn't call it. Oh, there.
Guess who? Guess who? See, if Memphis will just be strong with the ball, John, against any pressing defense, you can get decent looks at the basket, but they've been so careless and loose with the orange, they haven't been able to get a good number of high percentage shots.
Garner with the good hands and then a nifty move at the other end. Showtime.
Yeah, we like it, Michael. He just asked me, y'all like that? Yeah, I like it.
I think everybody likes it, at least who's watching in Memphis. I don't know about in this building. Bostick, I don't think he'll be thinking about a three anytime soon after missing the last one. And Memphis has turned up the defensive intensity in the half court, and it's made a big difference.
So when you've got the kind of quickness out front in a Chris Garner and Leon Mitchell, you can do that. There's the pilfer. There's Garner coming from the weak side. And then he pushes it ahead. I would have gotten about 8 or 9 points in the slam dunk contest.
And we got a tied ball. Possession arrow favors Cincinnati. But again, the Bearcats struggling a little bit after they had pushed open a big lead. It's been cut down to 8.
Well, I think Memphis energized by those 2 good possessions. I mean, they get a jump shot and then they get a turnover and a hoop. And sometimes you need to get something going offensively to energize yourselves defensively.
Shot clock is now down to 2. Burton, I don't think realized it. Garner with another steal. Dumps it off. Wow! Oh, my goodness, and it's foul as well.
He's bringing it down. Larry Finch, I don't know what he's done to that young man, but since he's come in, I think he's scored all their points. Watch out! +1.
Oh. 16 points for Michael Wilson. We've got 5:43 to go here. 16 of the 27. Make it 17. The lead now down to 5, a 9-0 run by Memphis.
By Michael Wilson.
Oh.
With help from Chris Garner, who's come up with some nice pilfers.
Burton down to Fortson, double team. Bostick gets the rebound. Almost flushed it right away. Gets it back a second time. Too strong again. Lorenzen Wright clears.
Boy, if you're Cincinnati, those are the kind of shots you have to finish. You get 2 shots inside trying to thwart the momentum of the opposition. You don't convert, and the positive momentum for Memphis continues to roll.
And then Bostick commits the foul down the other end. Bob Huggins wonders what's happened to this lead.
Here you take a look away from the ball, folks. There's Bostick with the hold, trying to keep Cedric Henderson from cutting to the basket. Just a little overzealous with the contact there.
And into the bonus is Memphis, and Henderson hits the front end.
Well, we talked about Memphis needing somebody to step up with David Vaughn being out with the stress fracture. He had 15 points in the last meeting, and then Rodney Newsom had 23, so they have to replace 38 points they got in the last meeting, an overtime win against Cincinnati. And guess who's stepped right into the middle of that picture?
Somebody named Wilson?
Yes, Michael Wilson.
11-0 run for Memphis in the last 2:45. Fortson thinks about it, moves in for a closer look, too strong, goes after his own. Garner has it at the other end. Henderson, and he gets fouled.
Nobody back defensively. Everybody for Cincinnati crashing the offensive board, which means if you don't get it, you're empty in the backcourt.
Here's a look at David Vaughn. I'm missing a lot with this guy, not just the points he puts on the board, but his leadership. Handsome as well, who can launch him from three-point range. That's an interesting look with the tie, Clark.
It very well is, John. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but nowadays that might be the newest in vogue fashion. You never know.
It's not that windy in here, is it?
Well, I think the fellas have been getting a little excited, just as you and I have been with the play of Michael Wilson.
This lead is cut to 1. It was 33-19. It's now 33-32.
And, I mean, it's only been 2 minutes, if that. I mean, it's not been very much time at all. And Chris Garner has come up with some steals, and Michael Wilson has been scintillating.
Mitchell went for the steal that time, very nearly had it as well. Legree for Jacobs, thinks about it. Burton launches a three off the mark. Bostick, what a big rebound. Tries to clear his way out of there and gets fouled by Wright.
Boy, that's a great rebound by Bostick in traffic. Now, he can hop, too, and he's got a little more muscle than Wilson. So he went up in there that time and able to crack into defenders and draw the foul.
I want to remind everyone to join Chris Fowler and Digger Phelps for the Delta Faucet halftime report. Big Ten thriller that some of you may have seen here. VCU against Louisville, and battles in the Sunshine State of teams trying to make it to the tournament. Can Leonard Hamilton perhaps get that?
I don't know. You look at their non-conference schedule, that might hurt them, but their conference record is going to be no worse than 500.
Right.
And I tell you what, if they could knock off UConn this weekend down in Miami, it certainly would get the attention of a lot of folks.
Bostick gets 1 of 2, and then a nice job by Darnell Burton to save it. Bounce it off one of the Tigers.
And then I think even if Miami was able to beat UConn, they probably still need another win or two in the Big East tournament, I would think.
Still, regardless of what happens the rest of the way, what a story that is this year for Miami. No wins in the conference last year.
Right. 2 years ago, they had won 7 games in the conference and had done that all at home, though.
Fortson didn't quite get squared. Bostick again with a strong board, can't stick it back, but Henderson fouls him.
Well, that's 3 or 4 times that Bostick has done a great job on the board, but you'd like to be able to put the period on that sentence and finish it off. See, nobody gets a body on him, and he just attacks the ball. And that's really what rebounding is about. It's about timing and tenacity and going after the basketball. It certainly helps if you're as strong as he is and you can hop a little bit, but timing and tenacity are more important than jumping ability and rebounding.
Bostick has 6 rebounds, but again, the struggle at the line. Cincinnati 6 of 10 from the line right now, which is above where they shoot for the year. This is both of them, and Henderson has the rebound. Wilson, you know he can feel it, leans, and gets fouled. Fortson goes to the bench as Bob Huggins makes some changes. Wilson with now 18 points. That tied a career high for Wilson with 18 points. We got 4 minutes to go in the first half.
Yeah, he's been spectacular.
There it is, a new career high for Wilson in the first half.
Boy, and if you're Cincinnati now, your head is spinning. I mean, you just don't know where this lead went. And part of it is the energized defensive play of Memphis. And then Cincinnati's had a chance to convert. They've missed some free throws. And you need all of that little stuff to go when you're trying to thwart another team's momentum. And the Bearcats now find themselves struggling to get a good look.
Jacobs dancing around there in the lane. Pushed back out. Burton down the lane, hangs up, still won't go. Nothing's going for Cincinnati. Memphis ball. This game was 33-19. We are tied now at 34. Back to Cincy in a moment.
Hey, baby, let's find out what the pros think of the new Adidas basketball shoes. First up is the real high riser, Stacey Ortman.
Well, Dick.
Slam Jam Bam, baby, and over here's TTB or Deadlift Shrimp.
They really helped me,
They help you shoot the rock. And here's Diaper Dandy, Jalen Rose, and his fast break low.
I think
and
that.
finally, here's the human eraser, the Kemi Mutombo.
They're very light, and they look good on my feet.
He's 7'2". He could talk as long as he wants.
How you doing? Name's Red Dog. Red Dog. Now, I see a lot of you dogs out there yipping and yapping, chasing after anything that moves. Well, you know, sometimes you ought to lay low. And even when someone's trying to yank your chain, just let it ride. Red Dog. Be your own dog. So that when something good does come your way.
Red Dog beer. Bold yet smooth. Easy to drink.
You can make the most of it.
Kelly Springfield, we've been making tires for more than 100 years. And at our age, some might suggest we're over the hill. They're absolutely right. Kelly Springfield, America's oldest tire company.
Welcome back to a stunned Shoemaker Center that was tied at 34 apiece. 3:32 to go. I want to remind everyone, ESPN's 10th championship week, 29 games, 22 conference championship games. March 12th with the Big 8 ACC, Big West, and SWAC championship. It gets underway on Saturday. Trans-America Conference Championship, the MEAC as well, the Ohio Valley, and we'll also have part of our final season coverage of the regular season, Duke against North Carolina. And there's a man having quite a night.
And at just the right time, we talked about it at the top. Newsom and Vaughn, who had 38 points for Memphis in the last meeting between these two teams, out with injuries, and Michael Wilson has stepped nicely and spectacularly into the gap.
Henderson ran out of room. Shot clock now under 10. And Garner launches it. Misses everything but the glass, and Cincinnati will have a chance to finally get a field goal. It's been some time.
It's been. Now we're moving towards 5 minutes since they last scored. A field goal, that is. They did get one free throw.
Yeah, and they've had more trips than that. They're like 1 for 4 from the free throw line. Nothing will go into it. Shot clock down to 10. Oh, it's speed.
Good strong move by Burton. So this is what you have to do when you're fighting the shot clock. Beat your guy off the dribble and go strong to the cup. And that's exactly what Burton did. Now the other half of that equation, obviously, is you need to make your foul shot.
Jason Smith hit up with the foul. Burton is a guy who shoots 78% from the line. Leon Mitchell will go to the bench as Mingo Johnson checks back in.
Yeah, Burton really one of your better six men in the country. I mean, he gives you defense, he gives you size, he gives you points, and he doesn't need a lot of time to make a contribution. I mean, he's able to step in and do an awful lot for your team in limited minutes.
Had 21 against Maryland, averaging about 14 in his last 4 games. Knocks them both in. Lorenzen and Wright will come back in for Memphis. Jason Smith back to the bench.
Well, we've got 2.5 minutes to go here. The only good thing about what's happened thus far is that Cincinnati has never relinquished the lead. I think things could have changed considerably and could if, in fact, Memphis is able to get a lead after being down by 14 midway in this first half.
That one won't go, and then Wright tries to tip it back in. One of the few for Wilson over the last few minutes that would not go down. And the crowd has reason to cheer again for the first time in a while.
Yeah,
good call. Foul away from the ball, and it's against Cincinnati. Bobby Brannon was hammering down there underneath.
In the post, you get open with your lower body. Take a look at the right side of the screen. Watch Brannon. See that? See, you got him right with the elbow. You use your hips and your legs to hold defenders off, and your hands basically are just the shields. You don't ever want to use them too much because you get whistled for the foul.
And Wilson will have a chance to add to his career high. I mean, if you'd have told Larry Finch that Michael Wilson would have 20 in the first half, I think
he would have just been mildly surprised because, you know, you and I had them earlier in the year. We had them at Georgetown, and I saw them in the preseason, actually in Toronto with Georgetown, and then I saw them in the preseason NIT. And I can remember Larry talking about this kid having tremendous ability, and over the last 10 ball games or so, he's been really solid.
Cincinnati tries to force one, and Mingo Johnson comes up with it. Garner to the baseline, then back outside. Henderson launches a three and knocks it in. And the lead is to Memphis. Burton quick again. Gets fouled and gets the roll.
Oh, that was a great take. They cleared the side for him. See, the side is cleared. The help defense is locked into their men on the weak side. And Burton got to the hole in a heartbeat there. See, by the time Wright makes the adjustment, it's too late. He's already at the rack. Well, I like that aggressive play. The last two times, Burton's going straight to the cup. And when you struggle from outside, that's one way you get yourself some high percentage shots. Take it to the goal.
And Burton converts the three-point play. Cincinnati regains the lead. Approaching 1 minute left now. Mingo Johnson launches a three-pointer and knocks it in. Cincinnati will have to shoot it before the end of the half.
Yeah, about an 18-second difference between game clock and shot clock.
Damon Flint now. Hasn't seen a lot of action in the first half.
Well, we've ranted and raved about Michael Wilson, but the defense of Memphis, and you made the point, has really picked up here in the last 8 minutes or so.
That's just a two-pointer for Damon Flint, but it ties the game. And now we'll see Memphis likely work for the final shot.
Boy, see, I just spread the floor. Flint, I don't think, can stay in front of Garner.
And that's what they're doing. Garner down the lane, then dumps it back out to Henderson. Misses everything. Brannon, and that's the end of the half. And quite a half it was. Cincinnati rolls out a big lead, but right now we're tied at 41. We'll see you with the second half right now with the Delta Faucet halftime report. Let's go back to Chris Fowler and Digger Phelps.
John, thank you. So Michael Wilson is strong for the Tigers, but you're yelling at the Bearcats and Bob Huggins to get the ball too?
LaSalle Durden, they forget what he is, 18 points a game, and without him scoring outside, you have no offense because if he misses it, you've got the rebounders with Long and Fortson getting the ball to number 23.
Only had 4 shots in the first half, 18 points in the first meeting. Coming up on our Delta Faucet halftime report, highlights from the Big Ten. Indiana and Illinois come into the ball game tied in the standings. It was a thriller, as you saw. And also Louisville in must-win mode, playing at Freedom Hall. That's coming up.
ESPN's NCAA basketball, brought to you by Discus Athletic Activewear. Discus Athletic, the way America plays.
I am not a role model.
Can you find it in your heart?
I am not paid to be a role model.
I am a spokesperson. I am paid to extol the benefits of 1-800 Collect.
Saves people up to 44%.
But what if I wasn't a spokesperson? What if I was a role model? Can you imagine it? I can't.
You can taste the difference when a Chardonnay is aged in small, expensive oak barrels. Fine Chardonnay has to be made expensively. It just doesn't have to be sold that way. Napa Red Chardonnay, a great tasting wine at a price that can't miss.
Genuine jockey.
Real quality. Real fit. No wonder guys feel comfortable with Jockey.
Genuine jockey.
Hi, may I help you?
Yeah, I need some shorts to play basketball.
Indoor or outdoor?
Outdoor.
Full court or half court?
Half, I guess.
Pick up our plan. Shirts or skin?
Excuse me?
Day or night, home or away, team or one-on-one?
Is activewear becoming too specialized for you? Try Discus Athletic. Heavyweight sweats and tees. The activewear that's right for however you play. Discus Athletic. The way America plays.
Horse or pig?
Good first half. The Bearcats and the Tigers are deadlocked. Welcome back to our Delta Faucet halftime report. Illinois and Indiana playing in the Big Ten tonight. What's this? Bob Knight going to freshmen in key situations tonight.
You know, he sat back quietly all year, let these freshmen develop. Now they have the confidence going, and what that means now with 3 games left in the Big Ten, they will become a factor in postseason play.
Michael Herman and Charlie Miller big as the Illini came calling to Bloomington. Early on, Richard Keene alley-oop to Robert Bennett, who throws it down. The Illini staying close throughout. Meanwhile, senior Alan Henderson, he couldn't be stopped as long as he was in the game. Hoosiers by 4 at the break. Henderson carrying Indiana in the second half. Hangs, hits the shot. He had 34, but then he fouled out. 22 seconds left, Illinois down 3, and Richard Keene ties it up in the final 20 seconds. Now watch Andre Patterson go to the freshman we're talking about, Charlie Miller out of Miami. Brilliant feed from Patterson. Miller converting the three-point play, and Indiana moves to 17-10. Identical record for Illinois, but the Hoosiers a 1-game lead in the Big Ten. Herman, 9 points and 4 assists. Louisville hosting VCU. Samaki Walker back after the stress fracture, and a big impact player in the early going. 4 blocks, rejecting George Bird. 4 blocks in the first 3 minutes on offense. Gets it in.
In the turnovers, Memphis had 10 of those at about the halfway point, only had 2 the rest of the way. Darnell Burton came off the bench and gave Cincinnati a spark, especially late in the half, going strong to the cup. He ended up with 14. That was 2 of them there. He actually got fouled and got the free throw. But good, solid defense by Garner was really the catalyst for the run, and his finisher, more times than not, was the high-flying, flubberized Michael Wilson.
Oh, a little Disney plug in there.
I didn't know if you'd get that.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody knows about flubber. And we're underway in the second half. Have decided nothing in the first 20 minutes.
Well, for Cincinnati, they've got to be aggressive, much as they were in the first 8 or 9 minutes. They're going to a zone defense now to start this second half. Both teams mixed their defenses a little bit in that first half. A little full court pressure from both squads. Primarily man, but some zone both ways.
Shot clock under 10 again. They're looking for Lorenzen Wright. He didn't touch it much in the first half. Hook won't go. Bostick clears it out of there.
Yeah, he only took 2 shots in the first half, but you have to be impressed with his poise because he didn't force it. If he got it and had a shot, he looked at it. If he didn't have a shot, he passed it back out.
See what Cincinnati has done over the last 8 minutes of this game. Not much. Little 2-man game.
Need to swing the ball to the other side.
Shot will not go for Fortson. So Memphis will look for the first points of the second half. Mingo Johnson on the baseline to Wright, who banks it home.
Sweet feed along the baseline. It's obvious both teams want to get their 2 young studs going. Fortson got the first shot for Cincinnati, and Lorenzen Wright has got the first 2 here for Memphis.
We heard Digger Phelps talk about not getting Lizelle Durden involved in. Fortson banks that one in. Not sure that was the intention, but it goes.
Like golf, not how.
That's right.
That's how many.
And Henderson lets go with a three that rattles in and out and kicked back by Wright. It won't go. Bostick with another rebound.
And Bostick had 6 rebounds, all offensive in the first half.
Nice block. Legree down the long.
I thought Memphis did a pretty good job of shadowing Lizelle Durden. I mean, they clamped down on him pretty good in the first meeting and did a nice job in that first half tonight.
Anderson's finger roll was all finger and not much roll.
What a play by Wright. Never gave up on it and threw it off a Cincinnati player. Penetration and drop a dime. That's Legree to Long.
Nearly a turnover again. Memphis hangs onto it. They'll reset. There's a problem with the shot clock, I believe. The question as to whether or not there was a change of possession, I think, is likely. And the question is on the last play when the ball was bounced out of bounds. They did reset the shot clock, and now the question is, should they have reset it? Bob Huggins doesn't look pleased, so we'll have to assume it's going to go the way of Memphis.
Well, if a guy is able to grab the ball and throw it off of a guy, you would think he's had possession.
And we get a bang underneath. His Fortson goes to the floor. Lorenzen Wright looks like picking up his third. So now he'll have to be extremely careful with 17:20 to go.
And without David Vaughn, obviously, Wright can ill afford that 4 point. And good idea here by Cincinnati to try to throw it inside to Fortson. Boy, they're getting to know each other in there. Fortson and Wright really going at each other.
Oh, my goodness. Huge paddle underneath.
Boy, and I tell you what, the officials really let him go. Take a look at this. Swim stroke there, chicken wing there. Here a crack, there a crack, everywhere a crack, crack.
He got Lorenzen Wright turned completely around. And Fortson picks up the foul. That's his third now.
See, and again, you don't need to use your arms that much to get open in the low post, especially when you've got the body that Fortson had. Just sit down in there and keep the defender on your hip.
Johnson tried for the lob over the top to Lorenzen Wright. No going.
So that's kind of like trying to hit a winner in tennis from the baseline. I mean, you need to get a better passing angle is the point I'm trying to make.
Cincinnati leads by 2. Legree dumps it down on the baseline again. Durden for 3, and he gets it. Where have you been, Lizelle Durden?
Well, by probing inside, they forced the defense to compress, and then they got it out on the diagonal to the other side, and that makes it really difficult for the defense to recover. And Durden got a great look at it.
Bingle Johnson. Henderson trapped, but underneath to Wilson. Not only does he get up high, Clark, he gets up awfully quick.
As Larry Finch likes to say, as quick as a hiccup. That was a great look by Henderson. The zone was overshifted, and there you find the weak side Michael Wilson.
Long lets it fly, rattles in and back in. Cincinnati has regained their offense after losing it for much of the first half. Bingle Johnson hits a three.
Shooting the three-point shot to the tune of 42% in conference play. And in the last meeting, it was timely three-point shooting by Rodney Newsom mainly, but also Johnson knocked down some as well.
Long fights around. Two-man Jackson and gets the roll.
Let's see if he gets away with the little, there it is, got away with that little chicken wing. And then Strong with the left hand. We're going to get a better angle. Watch that there. He got away with a bit of a hook.
And a push after the hook.
But I liked how he went strong to the rack.
Cedric Henderson goes to the bench as Justin Wimmer comes back. 9 points now for Long. And he'll try and push it to a 5-point Cincinnati lead. But free throw shooting again, as you mentioned, not a strong point of either team. Wimmer got poked in the eye, I think. Garner looking for Wright. Thought about the three. Mingo Johnson now. Three men around Wright. Wilson up over everyone and hits the jumper.
Good recognition by Wright. Anytime he touches it in there, 2 or 3 guys are surrounding him, and he's got the nice, good hands. Found Wilson for the J. Both teams now electing to employ the zone defenses.
Zell Zerden a little strong with it. Wimmer grabs the wall and gets it down.
Oh. You know, he's coming off a career-high night. Got 25 in the win against Dayton.
They said they knew he had that capability in him. Long launches it, and he gets a nice roll. That was his final home game as well, a senior. His final home game at the Pyramid. Wilson lets it go, and it won't go. Oh, nice job by Mingo Johnson. He'll get an open three and knock it home.
That's beautiful basketball there, John. Great hustle by Johnson, and then he's the one who gets the shot.
And Memphis is back on top by 1. We thought we might get a good one here tonight, Clark.
We haven't been disappointed thus far.
Jacob to Durden. That's a 3. Up on the shot clock, so that's out of bounds. And with 12:55 to go, Memphis leads by 1. Justin Wimmer flies at you.
In the middle of my workday, I don't do power lunches. I do power lifts. And when you work out this hard, you better use a deodorant that works hard too and never quits. That's why I use Speed Stick. It gives me 110% protection that lasts all day. And fortunately, all night. Because while I may not have time for lunches, I always manage to find some time for dinner.
Speed Stick, like you, it never quits.
By Menin.
Leave it to Delta to design a stylish and practical faucet that works with you in perfect harmony. No matter what the situation.
Oh, honey.
Party?
Honey, though, I think I got this. Listen.
Delta, the way water is brought to life.
Look at that new Pontiac Sunfire. Now, if you take yours flying to some other planet, the standard 5-speed and fuel-injected engine will make those light years just kind of zip by. Speaking of the all-new Pontiac Sunfire, do you know how much extra the dual airbags and anti-lock brakes will cost you? That's right. 0. Nothing. The big O. Finally, a real set of wheels for around $12,500.
Been a miserable season for Oregon State, but they're playing great tonight. Watch Brent Berry. After he makes the pass, sneaky cut. Stephon Brown finds him. Stanford is being blown out in the first half. Cal has come back to lead Oregon by 3 late in the first half. Back to Clark and John at Cincy.
All right, thank you very much, Chris. Here we've got a 1-point game, Memphis on top. We're going to take a look at a good possession by Cincinnati. Swinging the ball, probing inside. Now watch number 23, Lizelle Durden, makes himself available. Good diagonal pass from John Jacobs. And that's one of the few three-point shots that Durden's been able to get down. One of the few shots Durden's been able to get off cleanly tonight.
And in the pressure, full court by Cincinnati. Beaten by Memphis. Oh, and Wimmer tried to force a quick pass down underneath the right. A little strong with it. For the three-point shooting, Memphis 6 of 9. You take Cincinnati's numbers, but 6 of 9.
Outstanding.
Burton, quick hop in, and strong off the glass with it.
Boy, he's been really solid tonight. Really played well of late.
Garner beats the pressure. Mingo Johnson down to Wilson, who banks it off the glass. 26 now for Wilson. Looking to find an open man. Burton finds Long. He's a little strong with it. Wimmer comes up with the rebound. And Memphis goes to work. Mingo Johnson. Garner launches a 3, and he gets it. And I'll tell you what, when Chris Garner starts hitting shots, it's a bonus for Memphis.
A huge bonus. He doesn't look to shoot much. And when he does, he really doesn't shoot that well. Anything from him on the perimeter is a bonus.
13% from three-point range for Garner on the year. Long up, short. Brandon got the rebound. And then get a little hack underneath.
When you play against a team that pressures, you want to advance the ball quickly via the dribble or pass. And that's what they do. Dribble penetration by Garner. Johnson to Wilson.
And a 4-point lead for Memphis.
You a sports fan? Then you know what this is. All the games you're missing. How'd the Chiefs pull ahead? How'd Seattle blow out the Nuggets? Well, with DirecTV, you see the action, not just the scores. NFL, NHL, NBA, college. Hundreds of games you probably couldn't get before. Games only on in other cities. Hey, you want numbers? Get a newspaper. You want sports? Get DirecTV. For your DSS 18-inch dish and DirecTV, see your RCA dealer.
Hey, look, it's the new Pontiac Sunfire. Now, if you take yours dog sledding in the Yukon, all that interior room means, for once, your sled dogs won't argue about who gets in front. Or if you take your new Pontiac Sunfire zipping over to that Pisa place, the sports suspension and high-revving engine mean you'll really enjoy driving it at full tilt. Finally, a real set of wheels for around $12.5, the all-new Pontiac Sunfire.
Don't let a new car payment get you all wound up. Get Smart Leased by GMAC. It can put a new spin on affordability. Don't let a new truck payment stretch you to the limit. Get Smart Lease by GMAC. It keeps new vehicles well within reach.
Saturday, 7:30 Eastern Time, Duke against North Carolina. And I'll tell you, it's been a tough year for the Dukies, but don't think they can't knock up the Tar Heels. Took them to double overtime last time out. It's part of our championship week, one of our final regular season games. And then actually you get a chance to head down to ACC country for the tournament as championship week, right?
Next week. It should be a fabulous tournament.
Here we have a 4-point lead for Memphis over Cincinnati. Danny Fortson to Burton outside, knocks in a three-pointer. That 4-point lead was the largest Memphis had enjoyed, and it didn't last long.
Another good example of inside-outside action by Cincinnati.
Wilson turns around quickly, a little strong. Bingle Johnson comes up with a rebound, wanted to find Lorenzen Wright. I think Fortson knocked it out of bounds. Cedric Henderson will come back in for Justin Wimmer. He gave Larry Finch some great minutes off the bench there.
You know, you like guys that come off your bench to be able to pack a lot of production in limited playing time. Wimmer is certainly that way, and so is Darnell Burton for Cincinnati.
Henderson finds Johnson, fights his way into the lane, dumps it off for Wilson, who banks it home.
People wanted to walk, but that was just a good, solid jump stop.
Wilson now with 28 of the Tigers' 62. Garner might have got away with a little bump. Well, Fortson can't handle that pass. And the Bearcats turn it over. Bingle Johnson launches a long three.
Look at Rodney Newsom, dislocated toe and all.
Dislocated tie as well.
Oh. And that was 3 or 4 feet behind the line, that shot by Johnson.
Burton can't get his to go. Fortson with the rebound, goes up, gets swatted from behind by Wilson. And then finally gets the next one.
Persistence pays. Cincinnati, one of the better rebounding teams in the country. So they're always in a game because of that ability to get on the glass.
Lorenzen Wright nowhere to go, and Fortson forces him to just throw it up. Burton. Got it! The Tigers want a timeout. Cincinnati's got it down to 1. Oh, you don't think it's loud in here? Take a look at that.
Time Warner Cable of the Mid-South currently has job opportunities for direct sales representatives and telemarketing sales professionals. We will be recruiting for these jobs at our job fair Saturday 9 a.m. to 12 noon. We provide comprehensive benefits including medical, dental, and vision insurance, paid holidays and vacation, life insurance and pension, and an employee savings plan. We are a smoke-free environment. Come to our job fair on Saturday 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Time Warner Cable is an equal opportunity employer.
Next stop, North Pole. So, did you find any good bargains?
No. Well, but I just got a checking account at Bargain National, the bank that'll never be undersold.
You know, Gary, if you had one of Boatman's free checking accounts, you could get all the choices you need to make the most of your money.
Oh, I didn't get anything like that. But I did get these neat fire sale checks.
Oh, I think you ought to go over to Boatman's. You get a lot more for your money. And it's a lot safer. Isn't that right, Sparky? Oh, he's scared stiff.
It's crunch time. So when they ice it, hook it, save it, stick it, stop it, play it, and score it, you'll need to know. NHL Tonight on ESPN2. News, features, and highlights. Sports Center for the hockey addict. Tuesday through Saturday at 11:30 p.m. As the clock winds down, the season heats up on ESPN2.
Welcome back. John Saunders along with Clark Kellogg. Memphis leads by 1, but Darnell Burton has the fire in his eye.
He certainly does. One of the best times to shoot the 3 is in transition. All the blue shirts in the paint. Good push by Legree. And then the finish there behind the line by Burton. Well, I tell you what, you made an excellent point talking about the fire in the eye, because to me it seems as though he's the only one that's really looking to be assertive for the Bearcats. Everybody else is kind of treading water, and he's looking to seize control of this game. And thank goodness for that if you're a Bearcat fan, because he's really stepped up big.
Second consecutive game with a season high at 21 against Maryland. Or rather, not consecutive, 2 out of the last 3. And then the turnover is forced. Nice job by Fortson under there.
I think you find Burton.
Down in the baseline to Long, who converts it. Nice pass by Fortson. Double team, Henderson nowhere to go. Finds Johnson underneath, Wilson up. He gets his shot blocked, and then Wright gets fouled.
When you have shot blockers, a lot of times because the shot blocker will leave his guy to block a shot, that means he's loose on the offensive board. And that's what happened there. Long left Wright to block the shot, and on the deflection, Wright was able to get the offensive rebound.
Wright ends an 8-0 run by Cincinnati. And reties this game at 6-6 apiece. I don't think anyone's going to run away and hide in this one.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Well, the last one went to overtime. Right. The last meeting about a month ago.
Even Flint nearly lost a handle on it as he fakes a little pass underneath.
So you got to close out the space between the zone defender and the ball handler. See, there's plenty of space. He needs to be at the top of the circle on the catch of this pass so he can penetrate and probe.
Burton a little long with that one. Fortson with a terrific rebound. Wright stuffs him. He gets it back and sticks it.
Well, I tell you what, Fortson hasn't been afraid of getting his shot blocked in this second half. Twice now, he's had it blocked, and he's gone to get the second one.
Long very nearly forced a turnover there. Garner underneath to Wright. Throws it up. No chance on that one. A foul before the shot. Bingle Johnson picks it up.
Nice penetration here by Burton. Splits the top of that zone. The last possession, Fortson working inside on the weak side. What he does well there is he keeps the ball up in the air. On that second shot, he never brought it down below his chin.
The lob, Bostick gets it stuffed back in his face by Wright. Long, won't rattle in. Wimmer comes up with it and loses it as Flint forces the turnover, and Burton gets the loose ball. I don't think they gave Cincinnati a new clock.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't think they did. Wimmer definitely had possession of the
ball.
He sure did.
Doesn't matter. Right, didn't make it. But a good observation by you, partner. Right on top of it.
Long picks up his 4th foul. Jacobs will have to check back in.
Long will sit down for a while now after putting up a solid second half here. Yeah, there you saw Long picking up that foul.
Wimmer lets go with a 3, and boy, has he been big off the bench. Memphis leads by 2. Fortson into the lane. Rattles it, but it won't go in. And a nice job by Henderson. Some more scores coming in the Big West. New Mexico State to lead. Nevada leading Pacific. Running Revs. What a tough year it's been for them.
Yeah, it certainly has been.
Wilson in, up, off the glass, gets fouled. I swear when he's shooting that jumper over top of people, I can see him from the waist up very clearly.
Yeah, he gets himself level with the square on the board. He's got a nice touch. I mean, he's got a nice-looking shooting stroke.
Utah State, the win over San Jose State. Jacobs will go out as Wilson steps up to the line. 12 of 22 from the field today. 28 points, 6 rebounds. 5 of 6 from the line. And he's done everything.
Yes, he has. And in very charismatic fashion.
Giving you a little chat as he goes by here.
Yeah.
The lead is now 4 for Memphis.
And is that their largest? Is that match? I think that match is their largest, if I'm not mistaken.
Damon Flint working at the point. Garner with the quick hands almost had the steal.
Well, you gotta love Chris Garner. Just scraps and hustles. So quick, with and without the ball.
Shot clock is now underneath 10. Fortson, right on his back, gets it swatted by Wilson, and Henderson has the rebound. Nothing easy in there with Wilson and Henderson and Wright.
Yeah, when you come in there, you've got to come right. And Fortson is more of a horizontal type low post player. And that's vertical, folks. That's pure vertical right there. But Fortson likes to lean into you horizontally, and against a shot blocker like Wilson and Wright, you can struggle to get your shots off that way. He's had a couple blocks.
And that 6-point lead, that is the largest lead. Matches the largest lead for Memphis. And Cincinnati comes up empty once again. Tell you what, give Memphis a lot of credit with 2 of their best players sidelined. Vaughn and Newsom unable to play because of injury. Vaughn with a stress fracture, Newsom with a dislocated toe. And they've come into Cincinnati, and now shot clock down to 7. Wright knocks it in.
Can't do it much better than that.
There go the ties again, the dislocated tie.
It is intentional now.
Yeah. You saw Newsom throw Vaughn back over his shoulder. Go ahead.
Oh, he called the block. Cincinnati may have gotten away with one there, but I think they're driving the car with the parking brake on now, John. They're not going after it. They're on their heels.
Bob Huggins says it's time to get rid of the jacket. Time to get this parking brake off. Let's go. Back in a moment.
Introducing the Toyota T100 Extra Cab. Its new 190 horsepower V6 actually outperforms V8s. It's big and spacious, yet amazingly maneuverable. And it's extremely rugged, yet incredibly refined. The new T100 Extra Cab. It's the Toyota of big trucks.
Ever seen one of these? No, you haven't, because this is the future of television. A tiny satellite dish that receives something new called DirecTV. Now, for those of us who aren't rocket scientists, here's how it works. Every time I turn on the TV, I find something I feel like watching. Let's say I feel like a movie. Oh, do I drive to a video store? No, I stay right where I am. DirecTV is my video store. The hit movies I want start every 30 minutes. Let's say I feel like sports. I get hundreds of pro and college games I couldn't before. And cable networks? I've got everything I want. Everything. And DirecTV is digital. You can get great picture, CD sound, so even that fancy TV set you've been bragging about could look a lot better. And where is DirecTV? In some dream about the information superhighway? Nope. It's in my living room right now. Get your DSS 18-inch dish and DirecTV at your RCA or satellite TV dealer.
Following the game, Sports Center, the Bulls built a big lead in New York, but could they hold on? The Penguins face their only nemesis, Dominic Hasek and the Sabres, and the replacements for the L.A. National League team take the field. Dan and Keith after the game. John?
All right, Chris, these are not replacement fans. These are actual Cincinnati Bearcat fans, but right now they'd like to replace this deficit they have. And can you say enough about this guy?
No, you really can't. Actually, you just need to watch. I mean, there's no way Fortson can challenge that shot. As a matter of fact, there are very few people in all of the country that can challenge a shot when he gets up like he does. Cincinnati's got to get aggressive, John. You and I were talking during that break, and they've just been very tentative, other than Darnell Burton and Danny Fortson on occasion. And Art Long has been pretty aggressive on his touches, but they need some penetration out front.
Then they need to knock down the shot when they get a chance. Burton was underneath, but he gets challenged and can't convert. Garner with a nice little stutter step.
You know, to me, Cincinnati just doesn't look like a confident group. And I don't know, maybe the loss at UAB took an awful lot out of them, but they just really don't look to be confident. They look nervous and tentative. And you can't play this game that way.
You're absolutely right. And, you know, maybe it's the thought of we have to win this game to get into the NCAA tournament, which I don't think they had to, but you never know.
Yeah, you want to try to guarantee that as best you can on the floor and not leave it so much up to the committee, that's for sure.
And they play as tough a schedule as anyone in the country. I think it's rated the 6th toughest. Burton launches a three. It's short. And Cincinnati has just gone cold.
Well, that's been their problem over the last few games, John. They've just really struggled to make shots because they've gotten pretty good shots. I mean, even tonight, we talked about it in the first half. They got a number of putback opportunities. Rushed them, didn't get them to go. The second half, they've gotten some decent looks and just haven't made them. And Lozelle Durton has really been a non-factor.
Legree will go to the bench. Wimmer pulls up from the baseline, a little strong with it. Bostick has the rebound.
They're going to try to put it in Durden's hands at the point.
Cincinnati hasn't scored a field goal in about 5 minutes. Fortson can't get it to go. It's stuck back and in, and timeout is called by Cincinnati. And Bob Huggins thought there should have been a trip to the line there. 2:06 to go. 6-point Tiger lead.
Time to wash up.
Isn't it just like Delta to design a stylish faucet that's practical too?
Give me that.
So it's long enough to reach today's double and even triple sinks. Delta, the way water is brought to life.
Need a towel?
Camry was a success story from the start. Acclaimed best car built in America. Its reputation for quality craftsmanship made Camry the gold standard. It ranked among the top 10 in initial quality 6 years in a row. And Camry is built in a plant in Georgetown, Kentucky, the recipient of the Gold Plant Quality Award. And now the newly styled and refined 1995 Toyota Camry continues to write the book.
NCAA basketball, brought to you by Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. And by DirecTV, introducing personalized TV.
Memphis with a 6-point lead, fast approaching the 2-minute mark, and this is the recipe if I'm Cincinnati. Clear it out for Burton and let him go to the hole. Then you've got guys attacking the glass. Fortson keeps it alive, and Art Long able to clean up the scraps. But as you look at what's happening down the next 2 minutes, both teams have a couple of fouls to give. Actually, Memphis just has one, Cincinnati with 2. Both teams a couple of timeouts, so Cincinnati's still very much in this one. And Memphis has to continue to attack. They need a couple of more baskets.
Wimmer fights his way down to the baseline.
Keep the ball in the middle of the floor as best you can.
Oh, we're going to get a hand check. I could see that coming. Giselle Durden had his hand right on the hip of Chris Garner, right in front of the officials. Want to remind everyone, SportsCenter comes up following this game. NFL moves, including our very own Phil Simms back into the game as well. Lorenzen Wright with a terrific conversion. Dan and Keith after the game with SportsCenter.
Well, what a catch. What a catch by Lorenzen Wright.
And then he comes up with a steal.
Well, I think that's a case in point of what we've talked about for the last 4 or 5 minutes. A lack of assertiveness by Cincinnati. Soft pass, and the receiver doesn't come to meet the ball.
Lorenzen Wright, another double-double, 12 points, 10 rebounds, his 14th double-double of the season. And again, we're not into the bonus yet. Henderson running out of time, does get it in. Mingo Johnson double team. And a timeout is called by Memphis. 1:22 to go. Memphis has built an 8-point lead. You talked about the great catch of Lorenzen Wright.
Yeah, he did a nice job. But here defensively, see, Long really never shields him away. Never really comes aggressively to the ball. The pass was a little soft, but that was a half and half turnover. You'd have to give half of it to Legree and half to Long.
75%.
I don't have the box from the last game, but they shot extremely well from behind the arc in that win at Memphis, the game they won in overtime against Cincinnati. Well, Newsom by himself had 7 threes in that game.
Yeah, including 5 in about a 4-minute span.
So 3-point shooting again. A big culprit if you're a Cincinnati fan.
Memphis, a reminder, with this victory, if they can pull it off in the next minute 22, will clinch first place in the #1 seed in the Great Midwest Tournament, although they do not get an automatic bid with either of those factors. Great Midwest hasn't been around long enough. Want to remind everyone that Up Close comes away tomorrow at 6 o'clock Eastern Time with your host, Chris Myers, guest Tony La Russa, and Kevin Mitchell. So we'll have plenty to say about discord in baseball, and whether or not we're ever going to see the regular players back on the field.
You know, I just pulled up that last meeting box, and Memphis was 10 of 26 from behind the line in that game. They're 9 of 12. So that's 19 of 38 in the 2 meetings from behind the 3-point line.
Or 50%, exactly. Memphis now with just 1 timeout left.
If they're strong with the ball and make a free throw or 2, they shouldn't need it.
Henderson fights his way free. Wimmer. And Bob Huggins is upset there wasn't an over-the-back call. Flint can't get it to go. Wright. And then the hard foul to stop the clock. Bob Huggins thought Justin Wimmer went over the back going after a rebound. He may have had a case. to the bonus. Mingo Johnson with 15 points and 5 assists. A terrific performance all around by Memphis.
Oh, outstanding. I mean, you consider they don't have two of their key guys, and everybody steps up in a big way.
As I mentioned, SportsCenter follows the game. The NFL moves. Phil Simms back. Major League Baseball update. And highlights from the NBA and the NHL. Dan and Keith coming up after the game. Johnson knocks them both down, and the lead is 10. There's Burton for three. It won't go. Henderson has the rebound, and Garner off to the races. Bostick reaches in and commits the foul. Well, there's the guys who were unable to make it for today's game. Rodney Newsom and David Vaughn.
Newsom, the one on the right and the smaller of the two. And this will about seal it up for Memphis.
I'll tell you what, they're missing those two guys coming into Cincinnati and picking up a victory. An incredible performance by Larry Finch's squad. David Vaughn on the left has the stress fracture. Newsom has a dislocated toe. They think David Vaughn might be able to play this weekend at Marquette.
Right. And they're holding out hope that maybe Newsom might be able to return in postseason play.
Burton with a long three, misses just about everything, and then another quick foul.
Well, this is when it becomes rather meaningless to continue to drag out the misery. It's just a matter of by how many. I know you never want to give the appearance of giving up, but sometimes you have to let reality set in.
Down by 11 with 43 seconds left. Stranger things have happened, but
I know the fellows at SportsCenter appreciate it when reality sets in games like this.
I mean, Dan and Keith, they might tend to yell a little bit, don't foul. No. Flint thinks about the three. Burton glides in, still won't go. It's been that way for about the last 8 minutes for Cincinnati. They've just been unable to find any way to knock a shot down.
And, you know, you don't want to take any credit away from Memphis in terms of their defense, because especially in the second part of that first half, they really turned it up and got themselves back in the game. But there have been a number of shots that Cincinnati has had.
Damon Flint for three.
That you figure they should make more than they've been able to make tonight.
Fortson can't get it to go. Wimmer just trying to hang on, and he gets fouled. Cincinnati's going to go to 6-5 in the conference, 17-11 overall. For Larry Finch in Memphis, it'll be 22-7 and 9-2, clinching the conference regular season championship.
And that will earn them a bye in the postseason tournament.
Well, we talked about some outstanding performances. Wimmer did a great job off the bench. Wilson, 32 points, 6 rebounds. Mingo Johnson, 5 of 5 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. He didn't miss anything.
A perfect night.
Flint, barely contested by Wright. And Cincinnati wants a timeout.
And I'll tell you another guy who's had a solid game. He won't have a lot of numbers beside his name in the box score, but Chris Garner.
Absolutely.
Was a little loose with the ball early, but tightened it up. And defensively, he was really the catalyst, I thought, in the latter part of that first half when Memphis cut that 14-point deficit and tied things up going into the halftime locker room.
And down 10 with 12 seconds to go. Bob Huggins just sent everybody back onto the floor, although they commit the fouls anyway. I mean, that's a pained expression of a coach who thinks he's close to having sewn up an NCAA berth. I mean, again, we mentioned how strong their schedule is.
And you don't want to be sliding into your postseason tournament with 2 or 3 losses and your team lacking a little confidence, which I think is very evident, especially in this second half. They'll have to regroup on Saturday.
And Wilson misses the second one. 33 points right now. Flint in again. Oh, and Lorenzen Wright fouls him with 4 seconds left. So Damon Flint will have a chance to step to the line. Great Midwest champions. They are just that in the regular season. And that ends a chance for Cincinnati. Well, of course, it ended a few games ago, really, but Cincinnati had won a couple of Midwest regular season championships in a row. Final 4 seconds. Chris Garner will give it to Wilson for a chance to add to his point total, as if 33 wasn't enough. Not a bad job. Larry Finch with a big win, 83-73 in the Hug with Bob Huggins. For Clark Kellogg, I'm John Saunders. Thanks for joining us. Your great Midwest champions.
Elevates that high on his shot, but when he gets himself on balance and doesn't float or lean, he's a pretty reliable 12 to 15-foot shooter.
Bostick launches another 3. I told you he made just his 3rd of the year.
Felt good to him.
At the other end, Lorenzen Wright might have stepped out of bounds. They didn't call it. Oh, there. Guess who? Guess who?
See, if Memphis will just be strong with the ball, John, against any pressing defense, you can get decent looks at the basket, but they've been so careless and loose with the orange, they haven't been able to get a good number of high percentage shots.
Garner with the good hands and then a nifty move at the other end. Showtime.
Yeah, we like it, Michael. He just asked me, y'all like that? Yeah, I like it.
I think everybody likes it, at least who's watching in Memphis. I don't know about in this building. Bostick, I don't think he'll be thinking about a 3 anytime soon after missing the last one. And Memphis has turned up the defensive intensity in the half court, and it's made a big difference.
But when you've got the kind of quickness out front in a Chris Garner and Leon Mitchell, you can do that. There's the pilfer. There's Garner coming from the weak side. And then he pushes it ahead. I would have gotten about 8 or 9 points in the slam dunk contest.
And we got a tied ball. Possession arrow favors Cincinnati. But again, the Bearcats struggling a little bit after they had pushed open a big lead. It's been cut down to 8.
Well, I think Memphis energized by those 2 good possessions. I mean, they get a jump shot and then they get a turnover and a hoop. And sometimes you need to get something going offensively to energize yourselves defensively.
Shot clock is now down to 2. Burton, I don't think realized it. Garner with another steal. Dumps it off. Wow! Oh, my goodness, and it's foul as well. He's bringing it down.
Larry Finch, I don't know what he said to that young man, but since he's come in, I think he scored all their points. Watch out! +1.
Oh. 16 points for Michael Wilson. We've got 5:43 to go here. 16 of the 27. Make it 17. The lead now down to 5. A 9-0 run by Memphis.
By Michael Wilson.
Oh.
With help from Chris Garner, who's come up with some nice pilfers.
Burton down to Fortson, double team. Bostick gets the rebound. Almost flushed it right away. Gets it back a second time. Too strong again. Lorenzen Wright clears.
Boy, if you're Cincinnati, those are the kind of shots you have to finish. You get 2 shots inside trying to thwart the momentum of the opposition, you don't convert. And the positive momentum for Memphis continues to roll.
And then Bostick commits the foul down the other end. Bob Huggins wonders what's happened to this lead.
Here you take a look away from the ball, folks. There's Bostick with the hold, trying to keep Cedric Henderson from cutting to the basket. Just a little overzealous with the contact there.
And into the bonus is Memphis, and Henderson hits the front end.
Well, we talked about Memphis needing somebody to step up with David Vaughn being out with the stress fracture. He had 15 points in the last meeting, and then Rodney Newsom had 23, so they have to replace 38 points they got in the last meeting, an overtime win against Cincinnati. And guess who's stepped right into the middle of that picture?
Somebody named Wilson?
Yes, Michael Wilson.
11-0 run for Memphis in the last 2:45. Fortson thinks about it, moves in for a closer look, too strong, goes after zone. Garner has it at the other end. Henderson, and he gets fouled.
Nobody back defensively. Everybody for Cincinnati crashing the offensive board, which means if you don't get it, you're empty in the backcourt.
Here's a look at David Vaughn. Missing a lot with this guy, not just the points he puts on the board, but his leadership. Newsom as well, who can launch him from three-point range. That's an interesting look with the tie, Clark.
It very well is, John. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but nowadays that might be the newest in vogue fashion. You never know.
It's not that windy in here, is it?
Well, I think the fellas have been getting a little excited, just as you and I have been with the play of Michael Wilson.
This lead is cut to 1. It was 33-19. It's now 33-32.
And I mean, it's only been 2 minutes, if that. I mean, it's not been very much time at all. And Chris Garner has come up with some steals, and Michael Wilson has been scintillating.
Mitchell went for the steal that time, very nearly had it as well. Legree for Jacobs, thinks about it. Burton launches a three off the mark. Bostick, what a big rebound. Tries to clear his way out of there and gets fouled by Wright.
Boy, that's a great rebound by Bostick in traffic. Now, he can hop, too, and he's got a little more muscle than Wilson. So he went up in there that time and able to crack into defenders and draw the foul.
I want to remind everyone to join Chris Fowler and Digger Phelps for the Delta Faucet halftime report. Big Ten thriller that some of you may have seen here. VCU against Louisville, and battles in the Sunshine State of teams trying to make it to the tournament. Can Leonard Hamilton perhaps get that?
I don't know. You look at their non-conference schedule, that might hurt them, but their conference record is going to be no worse than 500.
Right.
And I tell you what, if they could knock off UConn this weekend down in Miami, it certainly would get the attention of a lot of folks.
Bostick gets 1 of 2, and then a nice job by Darnell Burton to save it. Bounce it off one of the Tigers.
And then I think even if Miami was able to beat UConn, they'd probably